All right, we're going to roll into our post-qualifying press conference. We've now been joined by our Busch Light Pole Award winner, ARIC Almirola, who will start in the first starting position tomorrow night for the Bristol night race. ARIC, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your qualifying run. Can you tell us a little bit about that lap from your seat in the car?
It was exciting to run sub 15 seconds around Bristol. Wow, what a ride! It is the most intense, most exciting qualifying lap of the year. I mean, everything happened so fast. There's no margin for error, and to run around here at a 14.94, you can't blink, you can't breathe, you can't do anything. You have to do everything perfectly, and you see how tight the grid is. I mean, I think the top 10 cars are separated within a tenth of a second. So there's just no margin for error, and every little bobble or twitch of the wheel counts and matters. And so to put a good lap up and represent our team for all the hard work that they've done and get something good to happen to us just feels good. I'm just proud of my team, really. They've been working so hard to bring better and better race cars to the racetrack each and every weekend, and this has been a great start to the weekend for us. We were fast in practice and obviously had a lot of speed in qualifying.
All right, we'll go to questions for ARIC. If you have one, raise your hand. Keep your hand raised really fast. We'll start with Lee, then we'll go to Steven, and then Noah.
ARIC, we've had two non-playoff drivers win the first two races. Now you're on the pole. I asked Austin Cindric about it. He said you guys are just as hungry as they are. Is that what it basically comes down to?
Absolutely. I think from a team aspect, we talked to all the guys after Daytona, and we missed the playoffs. And, I told Drew and my engineers and the guys on the team, I was like, man, I remember a handful of years ago, the 22 car missed the playoffs, and they came back the next year and won the championship. And there's no reason we can't do that. So let's use these next 10 weeks. We don't have any pressure on us. We're not racing for a championship. So it gives us a little bit of liberty to be loose and not so uptight and try things. And we've kind of gotten outside of the box on our thinking about this new car. And, some of the stuff we've hit on has shown a lot of promise and had speed. So, this is a prime example of that, where we showed up and have a lot of speed in our cars. So I feel good about that. And I do feel like anybody on any given weekend in the top 25 in points can win. I mean, it's proven. And these cars and everything is so close. The field is so competitive that I think that you can't count anybody out.
Okay, Steven, go ahead.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. ARIC, last week at Kansas, you acknowledged after you had issues in qualifying that your team was running an experimental setup with you guys out of the playoffs. Were you running an experimental setup again tonight, or was this just the speed you had from whatever conventional setup you had?
Yeah, we're still continuing to learn. I think as we were going through the summer, we felt like we hit on a package that was good and we could run top 10, top 12, and we were kind of being consistent and trying to point our way in. We felt like we were in a decent situation to do that, and then new winners kept happening, that were below us in points, and next thing you know, we found ourselves out, and we had kind of just been fine-tuning and massaging on a car build and setup. And so, now that we're not in the playoffs, we kind of have that liberty to try things that we wouldn't have otherwise tried when we were trying to just be consistent. Now we're kind of taking that approach of swing for the fences. Who really cares where we finish in the points, up or down one or two spots? Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But what matters is learning as much as we can to be better next year. And that's the approach we're taking.
Thanks, ARIC.
Okay, Noah?
Noah Lewis, TSJ Sports. It feels like that, in seasons past, we've seen SHR be very consistent, but in the last few years, it's kind of fallen off. Then you guys come in here, and you've got 3 cars in the final round of qualifying. I think Cole just missed it. I mean, what can that do for the organization, especially winding down this season, trying to look ahead?
Yeah, it's huge. To finish off the year strong and to have that kind of momentum into the off season. is a big deal because the off season, I'd say it's maybe 6 or 8 weeks till we're, building cars and trying to hustle to get ready for the Clash in Daytona. Those first few weeks, if you run bad to finish out the year, the mood in the shop, because you don't have another opportunity to go to the racetrack and kind of rebound and redeem yourself, the mood in the shop is kind of ho-hum, and so to finish out the year strong, to run good, and to show signs of promise for next year. Because everybody, it doesn't matter if you're, doing your job or just in life in general, like we all need hope. You don't want to go into the offseason being like, man, this year was not the greatest of year, and we don't really have a direction on how to get better. So, finding things throughout these next 10 weeks or 8 weeks now to where we feel like we're hitting on some things, we're learning, it just gives us hope and gives us, some encouragement as we approach the end of the season that going into next year, we will be better.
All right. Any final questions for Eric? All right. Congratulations again. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks.